Does Ciryl Gane stand a chance against Tom Aspinall? Short answer, no. Usually during a major fight and card, I'll usually detail how the underdog will beat the favorite, but in my opinion, in this case, I don't even think Ciryl Gane stands a chance here. And I'm more confident that his 20% chance of winning is still too big. I've started to see a lot of these types of posts trying to convince people that Ciryl Gane is much better than people think. He's going to make the fight close. They're going to try to hit me with, people forget, man, Ciryl Gane was really good, man. And I've been seeing some bullshit since these pictures came out before the fight saying that because Ciryl Gane is more ripped and more jacked than Tom Aspinall, that he's going to win. Like his physique is somehow going to affect his fighting. But in this video, instead of showing how the underdog has a chance, I'm really going to show you how poorly Ciryl Gane matches up to Tom Aspinall. And I'm pretty sure has no chance at beating Tom Aspinall or even surviving. So of course, let's first talk about Ciryl Gane's grappling, or lack thereof. Everyone knows that Ciryl Gane's main Achilles heel is his lack of wrestling and competent wrestling in general, and will probably be the weakness Tom will target first. Of course, this was first exposed by Francis Ngannou, who with shot knees was able to make the adjustment in the middle of their fight and completely wrestle-fucked Ciryl Gane to a decision. Then this was followed by John Jones, who easily took down Ciryl Gane and choked him out immediately in their fight with practically no resistance from Ciryl. Then, finally, in a win, quote-unquote, against Volkov, he was taken down multiple times with ease at some points. And I think what's worse is that Ciryl is mostly being taken down by guys that don't come from a wrestling base. Obviously, outside of John, Francis and Volkov have always been primarily strikers, but because their grappling had such an advantage over Ciryl Gane, they changed their style, and in the case of Francis, midway through his fight, to find success. And if you think you can find some success this weekend with the fights and your predictions, DraftKings has something for you. I'm very excited for UFC 321, specifically for Tom Aspinall, as we finally get to see him fight as the champion and see this division move on. And of course, I'm excited for you guys, as new customers on DraftKings can just bet $5 to get $300 in bonus bets if your bet wins. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app today and use my promo code TJLovesFights when signing up. Stay in on the action and use your bonus bets on DraftKings same-game parlays for a shot at an even bigger payout by combining multiple bets together from the same fight. And if you love the thrill of live betting, DraftKings has got you covered, as you can bet live on the fighters, props, and in-progress fights right as they happen, making watching the matches that more exciting. If sports betting is not yet available in your state, don't worry. You can still join in on all the fun with DraftKings Pick 6 and have the shot to win cash prizes. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app now. New customers use my promo code TJLovesFights and turn $5 into $300 if your bet wins, paid instantly in bonus bets. The crown is yours. That's promo code TJLovesFights, only at DraftKings Sportsbook. Man, I don't know if it's Ciryl getting lackadaisical. I don't know if it's him thinking way too much on the striking and not thinking enough about the grappling. I don't know what it is, but he is never prepared for the takedown and has rarely reacted to shots. A lot of the takedowns from his opponents come from openings from his strikes, mostly from Ciryl keeping a kick out for way too long. That's the first opening Francis found in their fight, as Ciryl went high with the kick, not expecting Francis to use that as an opening to take him down. Then 2 years later, Volkov takes advantage of the same thing, hitting Ciryl with the classic kick for kick reaction, which leads Volkov to catch the kick and get Ciryl off balance. And in the same round, Volkov catches a knee and uses that again to take him down with a single. Then going to the John fight, this time the opening John used was a slip from Cyryl's punch, which allowed John to close distance, grab the body lock, and drag Ciryl to the floor. And man, does Ciryl get hit with this move over and over and over again. It's funny, a lot of guys striking and game plan freezes up with the threat of the takedown, but Ciryl is on the opposite side of the spectrum. He has no threat of the takedown on his mind, and oftentimes is so lackadaisical with his striking, with no consideration of a potential takedown, that it leads to so many openings for his opponents to take him down. And sometimes it's just downright bad how little Ciryl is prepared for the takedown. Like in this slow and dry, unset up single leg entry from Volkov. The whole fight is on YouTube, so please check it out. It's on the UFC YouTube channel, and watch this part of the fight at full speed. Volkov literally just walks up to Ciryl, grabs his leg from distance with no setup or counter from a Ciryl strike, and Ciryl was unable to react or sprawl and just kind of accepted that he was going down. To anyone thinking this fight is going to be close, please point to this part of the Volkov 2 fight. Granted, Ciryl doesn't usually get taken down this easily, but he can also not stop this same move from taking him down over and over and over again. It was first found in the Francis fight. Besides timing strikes, Francis realized Ciryl does not have a good base to stay upright, and oftentimes Francis would just close distance, get the body lock, and drag him to the floor. And the mix of the timing of strikes and grabbing the body lock was how John was able to take him down so easily. Then a year later, Ciryl still hadn't learned, and after Volkov caught that kick and took him down briefly as he was getting up, Volkov used the body lock and drag to reshoot and really got Ciryl down in this sequence. Again, he just doesn't have takedowns on his mind. Is not quick enough to get an underhook or not quick enough to circle away from his opponents, which leads to his opponent getting behind him with a body lock and dragging Ciryl to the floor. Pretty easy even if he's a big guy. And what's worse for Ciryl against Tom in this case is that he really has to worry about the blast double leg. Tom Aspinall is definitely the most explosive wrestler in the heavyweight division. His speed at his size is damn near impossible to stop, and actually has been impossible to stop as he's literally been perfect in the UFC, sporting a 100% takedown accuracy. Again, if Ciryl couldn't stop Volkov from just walking over and grabbing a single leg, no way is Ciryl going to have the reaction time or awareness to sprawl on one of Tom's explosive double legs. And even if by some miracle Ciryl is able to stay upright and stop the double leg, Tom is going to be smart enough to stay attached to Ciryl Gane and probably do the same thing everyone has done to Ciryl, get that body lock and drag him to the floor. And once Cyryl's on the ground, it gets even worse. Granted, Ciryl was able to get up from Francis and Volkov's takedowns, but he also has made some very poor decisions in those fights. Namely, the last round in the Ngannou fight, where the fight was probably 2-2 going into the fifth, and with Ciryl in top control here, he probably could have made this must-win round very competitive and maybe could have won. But instead, he lost top position from being swept, and then in a window where he could have gotten back up, he went for the heel hook and held onto it for way too long, basically got mounted because of it. And he still hasn't learned his lesson with him pulling a heel hook here, even though he had dominant position and almost allowed Volkov to gain control again. And in the last round of this fight, Ciryl could not get back up as he refused to let go of the single and basically got flattened out the rest of the fight. Ciryl just decides to commit to something on the ground when things get hairy and refuses to change or adapt or chain into something else to get back on the feet. So when Tom inevitably does take this to the ground, I'm honestly not sure how Ciryl is going to get back up, but I'll definitely tell you, heel hooking Tom here will not be the move. And I've been talking about the grappling, but honestly, I think it's going to be very competitive on the feet as well. Tom doesn't have the striking bag that Ciryl has, but honestly, I think his striking is just as effective. That quick 1-2 down the middle comes out of nowhere, and it's such a deadly mix of power and speed that frankly, I think even a striking savant like Ciryl is going to have a hard time matching up against. Ciryl is an in-and-out point fighter that really thrives when his opponents are slow-moving, singular strikers trying to look for the knockout. Think his fights with Derek Lewis, Rosenstrike, or the first couple of rounds with Francis Ngannou. He did so well in the heavyweight division for so long because a vast majority of heavyweights fight exactly like that. He'll pick his shots well, hit them with a couple nice, well-timed and well-placed jabs and kicks, be quick enough to evade the one-punch KOs, and eventually break them down. But I really don't think his style works well in firefights. Like here, right here in the Tai Tuivasa fight, Ciryl got lackadaisical this time on his feet as he thought he could just back up in a straight line like he usually does and got caught with a right hand over the top and got dropped. Immediately, the momentum shifted in this round and Tai was all over him and still landing heavy shots after that. Granted, Ciryl did land very good shots of his own in there and did eventually win, of course, but I'm telling you, if his opponents throw with speed and volume and don't fight at the rhythm that Ciryl usually establishes, he has trouble, and Tom is perfectly capable of doing so. I see Tom breaking the rhythm with his blitzes and surprising Ciryl at how fast he can close distance. He's also capable of throwing at volume and really showcasing his hand speed like he did to Arlovski early. So I don't know. For Ciryl, we all know that he's going to struggle with the grappling, but I honestly think it's going to be a very competitive fight on the feet as well, with Tom's hand speed and speed on the feet, closing the distance and breaking the rhythm. So final prediction, Tom Aspinall sub round 1 or round 2. I know it's not the most original take, it's not the most nuanced take, but I just wanted to show you guys how bad Ciryl Gane matches up against Tom Aspinall, not just with the grappling, both wrestling and jiu-jitsu, but also in the striking as well. I think the hand speed, the foot speed, and how well Tom Aspinall is able to blitz out of nowhere is going to catch Ciryl Gane off guard, who usually is the one controlling the distance, controlling the rhythm. And even though he is fast himself, he really is a singular striker and keeps the striking very, very controlled and tame. So The only way I see Ciryl Gane winning this fight is if he somehow has improved his wrestling so much that he keeps this fight upright and does control this fight at his pace, or maybe he catches Tom Aspinall with a counter, but he also doesn't have that like one punch knockout power that other heavyweights have. But again, let me know what you guys think about this fight. Will it be competitive, or will Tom Aspinall just run through Ciryl Gane like he's run through practically every other heavyweight contender? So anyways, thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.